Morning, it's bright and early at Transformation Towers. It's one of those days where we're off down to deepest, darkest Dorset, and if you've watched any of these videos already, you'll know that it's impossible for me to find a reliable Wi-Fi signal to upload any videos there. So I'm doing it bright and early. I have my trusty cup of tea, my lemon and hot water to keep me going in the morning. And today I want to share another book tip with you and read you a story from that book. It's a little... Well, it's not a little known book. It's been around since 1977 and it's quite brilliant, but it surprises me how many people haven't read it. It's a book called Illusions and it's written by Richard Bach. Richard Bach is the same dude that wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which if you haven't read that is also very awesome, and you can get that. That's a very short book and you can find that as a free PDF on the internet if you search for it, and I maybe when I post the video or when I update it I'll add in a link to a free PDF for Jonathan Livingston Seagull. But this is just a brilliant, brilliant book. I once heard that Abraham Hicks, channeled by Esther Hicks, who you may or may not have heard of, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about, that once upon a time, Abraham said that everything you need to know about life and the meaning of life and personal transformation and everything else is sitting in this book. Which is, you know, it's pretty awesome because as you can see, it's a little book. It's not a huge book, but it's packed. You can see there's all my flags and my markers and stuff. You know, I love this book. This is one of the books that is never very far away from my bedside or from wherever I am. When I'm traveling, I always take it with me because for me, there's just immense wisdom in here. But I want to read you part of a story that's at the beginning of the book that kind of positions everything else. Once there lived a village of creatures along the bottom of a great crystal river. The current of the river swept silently over them all, young and old, rich and poor, good and evil. The current going its own way, knowing its own crystal self. Each creature in its own manner clung tightly to the twigs and rocks of the river bottom, for clinging was their way of life, and resisting the current what each had learned from birth. But one creature said at last, "I am tired of clinging. Though I cannot see it, with my eyes I trust that the current knows where it is going. I shall let go, and let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall surely die of boredom." The other creatures laughed and said, "Fool, let go and that current you worship will throw you, tumbled and smashed across the rocks, and you will die quicker than boredom." But the one heeded them not, and taking a breath did let go, and at once was tumbled and smashed by the current across the rocks. Yet in time, as the creature refused to cling again, the current lifted him free from the bottom of the river, and he was bruised and hurt no more. And the creatures downstream, to whom he was a stranger, cried, "See, a miracle! A creature like ourselves, yet he flies. See the Messiah come to save us all." And the one carried in the current said, "I'm no more Messiah than you. The river delights to lift us free, if only we dare let go. Our true work in this voyage, this adventure." But they cried the more, "Saviour," all the while clinging to the rocks. And when they looked again, he was gone, and they were left alone, making legends of a saviour. Now, it's part of a wider introductory piece, but that essential story for me just holds so much, and the line there more than anything that I have highlighted is here. The river delights to lift us free if only we dare let go. And for those of you that have followed me on Facebook for a long time, you know that there was a time when that was on my banner page, because for me it highlights everything. What are you clinging to? Because it's been everything you've been raised with. It's all you've ever known. It's what you were taught from your family environment, from your social environment. But what are you still clinging to for fear of there not being enough, for fear of there being something that will destroy you if you let go of the old beliefs, if you let go of the old behaviour patterns? The river delights to lift us free if only we dare let go. And so there is a current. Quantum scientists would call it energy or light, but there is something that is bigger than we are. It is life force. It is that creative energy that is in everything. And it is that that lifts us up, if only we dare let go. So I invite you to inquire within yourself. Remember, there's no wrong or right. Always be gentle with yourself. But what is it that you're clinging to? And what if you would just trust, if you would put your faith in something bigger than you are, rather than on your history? What could you envision happening if you would just let go and allow that current, allow that inspiration, allow that thing called life to lift you free? Have a spectacular day. I'll see you tomorrow.